A while ago, a poster went around Reddit and got a bit of attention. I was surprised that a friend of mine instantly recognized it as Chinese with the use of white negative space. It's only then I realized that different countries approach posters very differently. I never realized that because good posters are often underappreciated. We don't tend to notice the good ones. It's usually the bad ones that catch our eyes. So today, let me purge my ignorance and explore the world of Asian movie posters. Posters from China, Japan, and South Korea. Let's see what each country's general design trend is and highlight a few posters that I personally love. Keep in mind that I'm not a graphic designer, I only made a few posters for my own films. So take my opinions with a grain of salt. I'll stick to mostly recent films since there really isn't much to talk about with regards to the infamous Photoshop age. Everyone suffered back then, like, why is this guy transparent? So let's give them the admiration they rightly deserve. If you look up Chinese posters on Google, you'll find a lot of cases of plagiarism. Unlike Japan and Korea, the Chinese film market really only became big in the past decade or so. The market has yet to value posters as an art form. As with any starting player, with no budget and even less time, the best an overworked, underpaid graphic designer can muster is to copy someone. Who best to copy than the biggest player in the world, Hollywood? The only problem is that Hollywood blockbuster posters in general suck pretty hard. They are notoriously unimaginative. As a result, many Chinese posters end up feeling both cheap and uninspired. Wandering Earth's main poster is atrocious. I hate posters where characters just stand there doing nothing. It's just an illustrated list of actors and a badly photoshopped one at that. But its scenic posters are pretty amazing. After all, the actors in the film on the draw. It is the world building. But my favorite is this one, in which it captures the main selling point of the film, being an adaptation of the Chinese sci-fi classic. Look at those old and worn out pages stapled together, capturing that post-apocalyptic feel of the film where society is barely functional. But my favorite is how it illustrates the story of Earth leaving the solar system behind. On this image, every planet is listed except for Earth, intriguingly missing, leaving an empty spot. That's a sick concept if you ask me. Much like this poster, when Chinese posters get good, they get really good. Most of the best Chinese posters out there are all designed by one man and his company, Huang Hai. Their posters are beautifully poetic and very visually striking. The Golden Era tells the story of a women activist and novelist living in wartime China. The tilt-shift effects and the high-angle shot looks down onto her as if she's a miniature model. The seemingly random splashes of ink paints the big world she's living in, signifies the chaotic time the film is set in, and signifies how much influence her, as a writer, has on this world. Oh, and the international poster is also really good. My favorite Huang Hai poster has to be Masters in Forbidden City. It's a film about museum workers repairing and restoring historical relics. The poster relies almost solely on the beauty of these artifacts. What makes this poster special is here. This is what Chinese people describe as drawing the eye of the dragon, giving life to an art piece. The shape of this worker is tiny, insignificant, while the relic is immense. It captures the feeling of restoration perfectly. It is a delicate and tedious task. It takes sometimes years just to repair one relic. Yet it also captures the feeling of history, a moment in time. As the tagline suggests, big history, small craftsman. Of course, Huang Hai isn't the only one who makes good posters. Brotherhood of Blades 2 is visually beautiful. But what's interesting is how small the actress is. Yang Mi is a very high-profile star in mainland China, and is absolutely someone to draw in more box office revenue. The decision to leave her so tiny is bold to say the least. But it works. The beautiful composition draws you in, the empty space leaving you wanting for more. So you read the text. That's how you find out who she is. And once you went through this process, you are not forgetting this poster ever again. Many Chinese animation also have great posters. I guess it's because the studio already knows how to draw. Big Fish and Begonia's poster is just wow. But its quaint character posters are also really beautiful. Makes me wish the entire film looks like this instead. Whitesnake has a spectacular hand-drawn poster, even if it doesn't really reflect the film's art style. Its international poster, however, is next level. Whitesnake is a story about seeing humanities in monsters. The eye of a snake monster seeing its past memories and tearing up is the perfect visual summary. In recent years, great posters became a hot topic in China. More and more people are paying attention to this art form. If these beautiful posters for Ghibli movie re-release are any indication, the Chinese poster industry is going to be something very special. Now, let's travel to Japan. In terms of general design trend, Japanese live-action films love this manga panel design. It's hard to make screen grabs look good in posters as it tends to look flat, busy, and out of place. But Japanese poster designs mastered it, and is very recognizably Japanese. You rarely see other countries do this. More often than not, I find it very pleasing, even if it's very overused. Still, Japan is not immune to Mount Rushmore posters. At its best, you have this, which is aesthetically pleasing but otherwise lacking in metaphor. At least I don't see it. At its worst, you have this. I don't know why. Anime and manga adaptations tend to come with the worst posters. This is worse than Wandering Earth. It does have one exception. The poster for Death Note focuses on two main characters, or rather, the pitch-perfect recreation of them, as if reassuring the audience that this is more than a cosplay. But the one I like is the one featuring light. Backlit, dark clothes on dark background is sinister. But the real highlight is the apple, the symbol of sin. Is it floating, or is it falling? Or is it holding up by an invisible being? In this composition, your eyes jump between Light's face, his hand, and the apple. The ambiguity is intriguing, but also symbolizes Light as a character perfectly. Still, my favorite live-action Japanese poster has to be this one. Instead of going for movements like most posters, this film goes for stillness. With the two birds resting on the hill of a sword, it feels both calming and foreboding. Makes even more sense when you realize the film features a blind swordsman. But really, when it comes to Japanese cinema, animated movies are the current king. Your Name's poster is all around well done. Low angle to show off the beautiful sky, something that Makoto Shinkai is known for. Image split in half while remaining connected, reflecting on the film's parallel storylines. What I'm always amazed by, however, is the text layout. Japanese posters almost always have this uncanny ability to make a warped text look clean. Here's the English version for comparison. The poster for The Journalist took it to the extreme. As the title suggests, it's a film about investigative journalism. It cleverly used the text in the format of a newspaper to tell you the title, the hook, the list of actors, and the time it will be in theaters, all while using the gaps to highlight the two characters. Of course, there are also split panels down the bottom. It is a Japanese film after all. Back to anime, Hello World is a film about preserving old culture through the use of technology. The upper, technology-themed part of the image is mirrored in the bottom half with nature and old architecture, representing the struggle between the two. At the bottom, two characters hold hands, showing the true message of the film, that the connection of the human heart is the key. The poster for A Silent Voice doesn't seem very special outside of its fantastic art style, but it does have one neat thing, and it's pretty obvious when you see it. Shoko, the girl here, is the only one who's not facing left. She's almost, but not quite, looking at the camera. In fact, she's looking at nothing. She's in her little own world. In the film, Shoko is deaf, and this poster, through one image, captures her emotional isolation from other people. And then there is Tokyo Godfathers, characters stacking on top of chaotically arranged skyscrapers, representing the frantic journey through Tokyo. But do you notice that everything is arranged in the shape of a Christmas tree? Finally, there is Paprika, a film about dreams. And just like its premise, the poster is visually crazy, if not a bit seductive. The poster overlays this madness of dreams onto the body of the main character, in the style similar to traditional Japanese tattoo. Like every dream has an effect on your body, imprinting itself onto your identity. I, however, prefer the DVD cover. The close-up of the face covered in madness, with the eyes standing out. Highlighted by the shape of her hair, you can't help but stare at it. When your eyes meet, it draws you in, and now you are in her mind, in her dreams. Mesmerizing. I know I said I don't like Mount Rushmore posters, but man, the South Korean film industry sure makes it work. Faces are the main trend of recent Korean movie posters. But it's not just faces on posters. There are always something interesting going on, and you can usually guess the theme or plot of the movie. Oldboy has this uneven close-up versus medium split. They feel conflicted, contrasting. Yet, because of the size differences, they feel distant, like they are plotting something against each other. What a way to show conflict. Forgotten is the total opposite. It nearly perfectly matches the two faces, making it uncomfortable to look at. Just like the poster, the movie is a total mindfuck, dealing with multiple identities of multiple people, all entangled into one unifying conspiracy. Monster took a familiar big head poster concept and throws a twist into it. The two heads along with the striking arm and claw, creating a triangle for your eyes to wander back and forth. With a title like this, it makes you wonder, who is the monster? The girl who's holding him by the neck, or the man who's smirking while all this is happening? Now that's not to say there aren't generic big head posters, but even when they are generic, there's usually a strong composition to prevent it from being bad. Sometimes, movie would take the big head concept and use it on medium or wide shots. People just stand there, graduation photo style. And just like their big head counterpart, the good ones always have a twist. One of the most memorable ones is A Tale of Two Sisters. What a poster. The image split into two parts, with the parents dressed in black on top, mirrored by the two sisters dressed in white. The immediate interest is the blood all over the two. But do you notice the two sisters are in very similar gestures to the parents? One with the back straight, the other with one hand to the side. But instead of confident and assertive, the sisters look weak and lifeless, as if they are puppets of the parents. Of course, who can forget about Parasite, which has this poster. The feet at the bottom is, of course, the biggest interest point. It also puts the entire image off balance, giving it a twisted feeling that matches with the film itself. But the group itself is also intriguing. It contains two families, one rich, one poor. How can you tell? Well, the poor family members aren't wearing shoes. Overall, Korean posters appear to be the most consistent among the three countries we discussed today. Although at times, it does get pretty samey, but rarely is a poster downright bad. That speaks to the overall robustness of South Korean cinema. Respect. If there's ever a picture that's worth 1,000 words, that picture would have been a poster. Condensing an entire script, distilling an entire movie down to one single frame. That is an art. I took the liberty to redesign the poster for Pure Hearts. See how it changes your expectation and the perception of the film? I bet at this moment, every single one of you still remembers most posters shown in this video, and many of you became curious about the movies simply because of the posters I showed. That's the power of a good poster. Next time, when you walk past one, give it a closer look. On that image are details crafted by artists.